actually only by listening, you won't be able to do much. So you have to go through my PDF, and then you have to do the exercises, and then you have to just improve a lot, right? Because I'm talking to you on 1 week, and then there are so many things, works that I send you, you have to do them, right? Then together your work in self studies and my helping will build up your English. Okay, we can't run. We can't. We have lessons, but we have to go slowly, and we have to understand things that we do, and it's a hell of a work, right? Okay, this is from last week revision. Introducing yourself and others. So we learned the dialogue, we practiced the dialogue, and then we were in the middle of learning the dialogue. All right. Now let us do some revision of this. Conversation, meeting at a party. That was the dialogue that we started. Right? Okay. Then see, thought then met. That dialogue is there. Let us do it. Is Samarakon to do that with Lasit. Samarakon is thought. Lasit is met. Start doing. Please just read it. Just not reading, but really you have to act it out. Samarakon, Lasit. Samarakon. Hello.
I'm told do.
Yes. Wait. Samarakon, are you there? No. Then who doesn't matter. Pramod, you read it with Lasit. Start, Lasit. Oh, Pramod, doesn't matter who.
Okay. Hi, you must be John's cousin Matt, right? From San Diego.
Correct. I just got in last night.
I am Todd, John's roommate from Tech. Glad to meet you. I can assure you that I am not anything like what John has told you.
I'm happy to meet you too. And yes, I have heard about you. Football player and party animal extraordinaire.
Football, yes, and as a matter of fact, I do like parties. But tell me more about yourself and what you do in San Diego.
Well, I'm more of a surfer than football player. You know, San Diego has a fantastic coast and we can surf all day and then party on the beach at night.
That sounds awesome. How long are you staying?
All right. Thank you very much. And then we go to the other part of it right here. You read that Mikuni and Netma. Keep Mikuni and Netma. Read that. Mikuni, Netma.
Okay. Well, I'll be here for 2 weeks. John has promised me a non-stop schedule, kind of mix of sightseeing, meeting his friends, checking out the local scenes, and hopeful camping in the mountain for a couple of days.
John's a good guy, and you can be sure he knows the local scene. He knows everybody in the town. I'm sure he'll show you a good time, and his friends are here to help.
Thanks so much. I really appreciate that. I'm still a bit jet lagged at the moment, but should be in good shape by tomorrow. I'm looking forward to hearing what John has in store for me.
Don't worry, we'll all take good care of you, and don't be surprised if we show up on your doorstep in San Diego one day, ready for surfing.
Great. Okay. Right. Let me go down. Improving your conversation. We did that. Certain things. I got these sentences and I explained to you certain things about this. I'm Todd Jones. I'm glad, happy to meet you. Right, correct, am, do, etc. As a matter of fact, just. Okay. So you're going to tell me the things that you have learned. Lasit, would you be able to tell me what we learned about this? Anything that you know, just explain to me. maybe one thing that we learn. I have given you items now. This is the first one, this is the second one, this is the third one, fourth, then fifth and sixth, and the last one is just. Just tell me what you have learned about something as you remember, please. That's it.
If you ask a question using right, your answer should be that's right.
Okay, somebody else. Actually, what have you got to say about any
Yes,
one
sir.
of these?
Actually, we learned first. I like to say I'm taught if that meeting is an informal one, we say hi. That is formal one. We say hello, and it's pronounced I'm taught. And next one is our meeting is first one. We ask from another person, hi, glad to meet you. We meet word is we um, longly pronounce meet one. After that, the answer is happy to meet you too.
Mhm.
And if the someone asked the question, for an example, this is economic 101, right? Answer is correct. Is this no, sorry, this is economic 101, right? Answer is correct. That's right. uh, uh, that is that's all.
Okay, somebody else. Maybe Janita, would you like to comment on that? What you have learned? Just tell me. Janita?
Yes, if we are using uh, something else that like a joke, it's not happen. We use yeah, right. That's mean, for example, I heard you just won lottery jackpot. Uh, it's the answer will be yeah, right. Where did you hear the nonsense like that?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Anyone else want to tell me something? So you remember about these things? Hmm? Amarabon, are you there? Anybody? Now, next one is to get in. Get in. We made a phrase like this, get in. What is the idea of get in? Get in means to get it, actually, to get in means to arrive and is usually used in the past tense. Arrive is get in is arrive, but we use that in the past tense. You must learn this style, right? You are learning a lot of grammar and you'll have to take notes, I think, because otherwise you will forget. And I'm sending you some, certain screenshots, but I can't send all. And you have to write down the things that you think you feel necessary for you, right? Because you are learning a lot of grammar, you are learning grammar in a very different way. Because I shall not teach you grammar in formal way. I will give you grammar in action. So mostly spoken English, right? And because a language means we have to speak that. So then I want to make you fluent in English. I mean, without problems, you must be able to express your ideas. So, and at the same time, you're learning some rules like this. Get in means to arrive, right? And this kind of grammar we usually don't learn in the books, and we learn grammar in a very different way. Okay? but it is used in the past tense. Now it's like this. What time did you get in? So we have used the past tense. Did be in the past tense. So what time did you get in? So then you had answer like this. I got in late last night. I got in means here I arrived. I came. I came last time. I came late last night. Do you understand? So what time did you come? So that question you can ask using getting. Right? If you want to ask somebody went to a party and then at home family members everybody is going to sleep and that person has come late in the night and early in the morning you can talk to that person and ask what time did you came last night? I got in late last night. I got in. That goes together, right? You have to remember. You can't say get and something else. Goes together. Got in. Even though this is get in, you see that did is there. That means it's in the past tense. Here it is past. Here it is past, or the past, right? Actually, if you just say something like did plus did plus did plus getting together is past. Okay. Very remember. Right. And Todd says there, hi, you must be John's cousin, Matt, right? From San Diego? Matt says, correct. I just got in last night. Here you see, I just got in last night. Yeah, you get got in. Got in means I came last night. Why just? What is the meaning of just? Just. I just got in last night. What is the meaning of just? I got in last night is okay. Just got in last night. Here the example when you have is very close to now. Right? It has not taken much time after the action. And when you are going for a house, they might offer you a cup of tea. Then you say, I just had a cup of tea. That means I have taken a cup. I have drunk a cup of tea. It's maybe little time, maybe 5 minutes or less than a half an hour. Right? So in certain actions, the time will be longer, but you mean very close to the present. The action has taken place very close to the present. It may be 2 hours, 3 hours, it depends, right? But however, we mean 30 minutes, something like I have just had my lunch. The lunch is still on the throat. It has not gone down to my stomach. Right? It is still there. That's it. Right? Or if you say my uncle has just came home or my uncle has just got in, then still he has not changed his clothes. You understand? There's a very little time that he has come. Okay, that's what you have to remember. Just okay, we'll do this dialogue just for anyway. We must remember all these things. We'll do this. I shall. Okay, wait. You read this, Janita. You read this with Damita.
Hi, you just be John's cousin Matt, right? From San Diego.
Correct. I just got in last night.
Alright, very good. Then we move down. Another way to say arrive, to arrive. Arrive means come, right? Another way to say arrive, when it refers to the future, it is get there. See? If you want to talk about going, coming, and you want to mean future, not the past. If you talk about the past, you have to say getting, but it has to be got in, right? We use that in got in or did get in, something like that. I got in last night. I got in 2 weeks ago. I mean, that's it. Okay, but if you want to say that you arrive, same meaning arrive, but time difference, you have to say future. Right? Then what I'm going to do? You are going to say get, not in, get there. Right? That's future. I hope we get there on time. He will get there by 6. You understand? He will get there by 6. That's not now, in the future. When somebody is coming in the future, you have to say get there. Right? You can't ask, maybe your mother is going to visit a relative and your mother is still, mother has just gone there and mother is at that friend's or relative's house and you give her a call and ask her, what time did you get there? What time did you get there is a past question. You can't ask that question. You have to ask, what time did you get in? You understand? I hope you understand. So that is actually, this is future. Get in is past. Get there is future. Right. Getting can also mean to be accepted by a school, college, university, or other group of with limited membership. Right? So there are small, maybe class of limited membership, only few people are there. And if you can enter that class, you say getting. Right? In that time, the time will be different, right? But it does not, you don't limit that. So you want to get into a college, university, maybe a class like that, then you use get. That means enter, get admitted, get accepted. Right? He applied to that college and really hopes to get in. He wants to get in, that he wants to enter the college. She didn't get in her first choice of sororities, but she got in another one and she is happy. What is sororities? I mean, sororities means that is the club for women in sorry, undergraduates, that club. So let's see, getting means enter. Got in means that also enter, but time doesn't matter. You enter, not coming, right? All right, that just you have to remember it. Learn that. Okay, shall we read this first one? Somebody read the first one, that applied one. Probably you read that. He applied.
He applied to the college. He applied to that college and really hopes to get in.
Okay, Lasit, read the second part.
She didn't get in her first choice of sororities, but she got in another one and she's happy.
We move. Next one is I can assure you that. I can assure you that. Or you can be sure that. I can assure you that. You can be sure that. Somebody tells me the meaning of it. Now you have come across this word in the dialogue, right? I have given you that. You have to read that thoroughly and you have to learn it. You have to learn that the PDF that I have sent you. Very important. Okay, somebody tells me the meaning. Who can tell me?
Certify.
What? 35?
Uh,
35. 35, yeah, 35 means actually a little different. You say something, with confidence, right? And you want other person to believe you, right? That's it, okay? You want other person to believe you. Very good. Now, these common ways of saying that you believe something to be true, hoping to win the confidence of the other person you are talking to. All right, now I am talking to you and I want to I want to win your confidence. Your confidence means your trust. I want to win your trust. And then I use that phrase. I might tell you something like this. I can assure you that we will be able to finish this course in 1 month, like that. So then I want to win your confidence. Then I say, I can assure you that, or I can say, you can be sure that. When you use you can be sure, that is optional. That is why there's brackets, right? You can leave it off if you want. You can be sure, that it will not rain tomorrow. Like that. You want to win other person's confidence, and then you use that phrase. Okay, how do you do it? These are common ways of saying that you believe something to be true, hoping to win the confidence of the person you're talking to. Okay. See, you want me to explain certain things? These are common ways. Common ways means very common. Anybody use, even small children use them, and women use, men use. Everybody who speaks English use that. Right? They use that to that you believe something is true. If you are very sure of something, you say, I can assure you, you can be sure of it, like that. And you want to win the confidence. Confidence means trust of the other person by using these phrases. Right? I can assure you that I will work hard. When you tell other person, you promise the other person, you will work hard. When you say, I assure you that I will work hard. Right? Or else you can say, you can be sure that something interesting will happen. So now there are two phrases. One is you can be sure that, I can assure you. I can assure you that. You can be sure that, I can assure you that. Okay, shall we make some sentences? If you please make some sentences and tell me using this, I can assure you, or you can say you can be sure that. Please make some sentences. The small one, please. Hmm? You can do this. Samuni, I can assure. And that,
I can assure you that you will pass the exam.
very good. I can assure you that you will be able to pass your exam, or you will pass your exam. Amaragon? Right. Moraranga? What about it? Can you make a small sentence? Something will happen in the future. So you follow the example. You speak. I can assure you that. That means, what is that? That means here, actually, it has a very different meaning, right? That. Okay, we will learn that closer. But as much as possible, we have to, there are certain cases that I can explain to you in Sinhalese, but I'm not doing that, because if I were to do that, you just go to Sinhalese and then you will think like that. I want to change your mentality. You shall, I, I want you to change your mentality. Then you think in English, and then English become very powerful. Otherwise, you know all the words in Sinhala, and then you forget English word and you think in Sinhala, and then just take that English word, just there is no power in that word. Now, when you learn something in English, that word has, oh, the whole power is focused on that word. Even this phrase. Now you just don't think, you don't know how to think in Sinhala, because I'm not telling you, but you get the idea. And you get the idea will be conditioned to this phrase. And this phrase and the idea will be together. Then there is nothing in the middle, Sinhalese, to just stop or to just hinder your progress. That is why I'm telling you, it's very hard, I know. You can't, certain cases you can't understand, but you have to think. Keep thinking. Keep thinking, and then it will just be powerful. Okay? It will make some sense. Keep thinking. Right. In your basic course, I just said you don't have to worry about the mistakes that you're doing, and then I gave you the meanings in Sinhala. But here, I'm telling you, grammar anyway we are learning, because I'm teaching you a lot of grammar. But here, what I'm telling you is meanings of the words. Don't worry about the meaning. If you just don't understand, if you refer to the dictionary and learn the word in Sinhala, your curiosity is finished. That curiosity is important, and always you think, assure. What is assure? Just don't understand it. You just trouble your mind and you try to understand the meaning of the words, and it is the exercise. But if you refer to Singlish dictionary and open it and learn the word, finish. But as long as you are not sure of that word, you keep trying. And one day, all of a sudden, you will understand what it is. then with the heavy exercises that you trouble your mind, and that becomes powerful, and the word will be powerful in you. So then you will be able to speak English without thinking. You don't have to worry about English after that. So it is very important that you give some trouble to your mind and let the mind think, and then mind will find some meaning for that. Okay, but you have to wait for that. Somebody is going to make a sentence. Who? Janita?
I can assure you that I will select this course.
You are going to do that. Okay. What about Monaranga? Frank? Frank? Are you there?
Yes, yes, I'm here.
Okay, make a sentence. So I can assure you that.
Mm,
Excuse me, sir.
Yes. Yes, tell me.
Sir,
Yes.
one
Hmm? That's a problem. Come on.
one exam.
Hmm? Want to hear
One, give me one example.
one example? Okay, you are getting
Another one.
another one. I can assure you that I will work hard. I can assure you that if you don't find the meanings of the words in single dictionary, you will anyway you will have your words will be very powerful. Well, I can assure you that Corona will be finished after photon. Like that. So I am sure like anyway. You can be sure that government will put down the prices of the petrol and diesel, those things. Okay, like that. Who is doing this now?
sir,
Yes.
I can assure you that
Mhm.
we will win the match.
Yes, very good. I can assure you that we will win the match. Okay. Anyway.
I can assure you that
Mhm.
he will avoid COVID information,
We
COVID,
will.
COVID infection,
We will.
COVID infection. He will avoid COVID infection.
Yes. I can assure you that we will avoid. We will avoid COVID infection. Mhm. Yes. I can assure you that I will work hard. That means I promise you. I can assure you that. Then the other part is you can be sure that something interesting will happen. Very good thing will happen soon. You can be sure of that. Just just wait. Wait and see. You can be sure of that. That you are going to win the confidence of the other person and you are going to fill his heart with courage. Okay. Uh, who is going to make a sentence for this? You can be sure that. You can be sure that it will rain in the evening. You can be sure that it will rain in the evening. You can be sure that your brother will pass the exam at one sitting. You can be sure that this course will make you speak English fluently. Okay, somebody give me more examples. Some more. Anybody?
You can be sure that you will enter the university.
Yes. You can be sure that you will get in the university. Right? You can use that getting in that. Yes, correct, right? You can be sure that you will enter the university. Very good. And some more.
You can be sure that she will win the prize.
Yes. You can be sure that she will win the prize. Or you can be sure that you will win the prize. Or you can say, I can assure you that you can win this prize. I can assure that you can win this prize. I can assure that you can win this game easily. Right. Okay, very good. Then we go down. Here is another way to express. Express means say. Here is another way to express that you believe something to be true. Right? You believe that, like assure, there's another way. Right? You believe something to be true. What is it? I promise you that. The same meaning. I can assure you that. You can be sure that. I promise you that we won't leave until the work is done. So then what are the words that you have learned? I can assure you that. Remember. First one you learn, I can assure you that. Second one you learn, you can be sure that. The third one is, I promise you that. Okay? I can assure you that. I can assure you that. I can assure you that. Same meaning. Then next one is you can be sure that. You can be sure that. The other meaning is I promise you that. All the three phrases with the same thing, right? All the three phrases give the same thing. Right. I can assure you that. You can be sure that. I promise you that. Okay, make a sentence. Any one of them. Using any one of them. Please.
I promise you that her information is correct.
Oh, very good. I promise you that. I promise you that she tells the truth. I promise you that she won't tell lies. Or I promise you that she gives us the right information. I promise that this information is right. Very good. You can be sure that the information is correct. Okay, what else can you say?
I promise you that you get their job.
I promise you that you'll get that job. I promise you that you'll get the job. I can assure you that you will get this job. You can be sure that you will easily get this job. Some more.
I promise you that I won't call you back.
Oh, it's very strong. Say, I promise you that I shan't call you again. I promise you that I shall not call you again. You can be sure that I won't call you back. Right? I can assure you that I shall never call you. So they are very strong way of saying. Now when you go on learning like that, they will become these phrases become your friends, and they'll be on your mouth. And it is important is the knowledge that you learn should be available. When you learn something in Sinhalese, you have the knowledge, but that knowledge is not available. By the time you try to say something, you open your mouth, my God, no phrase is there. You have learned lots of phrases and you have lots of words, but nothing is there. You are just alone, right? You become helpless. But if you learn like this, every single thing, every word, every phrase you learn will be there at the time of need. When you open your mouth, they will come out. They will come running out of your mouth, and they will be waiting there inside your mouth in queues, just waiting for a chance to uh, jump out of your mouth and express your idea, right? Okay, so you will be very happy when it is like that, when it will be like that. I promise you that you will be, you will be not searching for words if you practice like this. Okay. Right. Some more examples somebody can give me? Please excuse me now. You know I can't run, right? Because if I run fast, you don't learn anything. You have to go slowly. And this is an art. Somebody tells me, Lasit, what about you? You have a good example?
Is the suitable person to this job?
Mhm. I can I can assure you that you are the suitable person for this job. You are the ideal person for this job. Okay, very good. Then we shall move. Now see this, the dialogue that we found is, Todd says, I'm Todd Jones. Oh, sorry, I'm Todd, Jones' roommate from Tech. Glad to meet you. I can assure you that I am not anything like what John has told you. Here he says, John has told you a lot of rubbish, but I am not anything of that. He has told you different things. My truth is very different. I can assure you that. This is very common phrase, and when you talk to, now this is the place where Todd is talking to one of his friends and very informal situation. In informal situation, they use this kind of phrases, and these phrases are very common. So I can assure you that these phrases will help you immensely in the future. Not in the future, from today on, you can use them. Okay, so I hope you understand. Can somebody tell this with feelings? Oh, please, somebody read this, not just read, read this, uh, just act it out. Somebody? Oh, you didn't read it. Read it, okay.
Do you ask what is the meaning of that phrase?
What phrase?
Do you ask what is the meaning of that phrase?
Which phrase? No, I asked you to read this.
I read. Okay.
Read with
Todd.
feelings, is it?
Okay. Todd. I'm Todd, John's roommate from Tech. Glad to meet you. I can assure you that I'm not anything like what John has told you.
Good.
Sir, I am Sandhuni.
Okay. Sandhuni, can you read it? Yes, please.
I am Todd, John's roommate from Tech. Glad to meet you. I can assure you that I'm not anything like what John has told you.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay. Let us go down. Then the next point, we learn a word, party animal. You learn party animal. It was this is the kind of English people use, but this is not the kind of English that we use. We never say party animal to anybody. If you call a person, hey, you are a party animal, I kill you, he will tell you, right? Because he doesn't like it. You call him party animal. He might think you are now in some parties you kill animals and eat, you take them for food. So he might think something like that. But this is very different. Okay. That is why I told you that spoken English is very different. And grammar also is very different. I said get in, got in. It uses the past tense. And when it is future, you have to say get there. And you have to understand the situation. People use that. Even in singular language also it is the same. We do so many things. Foreigners can't understand. If somebody is learning singular, they'll be like a fish out of water. They won't be able to understand anything of the sort. Okay. So it is really important that you learn all these things. Okay, somebody is going to tell me what party animal is. Who's going to tell me what party animal is? Netma? Netma Sakindi? Yeah.
Party animal is a person who do party excessively, like no limit.
Okay. He's a party animal is. Yeah, that's right. Party animal is who is crazy of parties. He wants parties, right? Now, when you say animal, animal has no control, right? But she says it right. Animal, you can't control an animals don't know limit. So party animal means a person who doesn't have limit for parties, right? He will do a party even at midnight. He never go to bed, right? He will go anywhere far away for a party, right? I mean, if somebody says party, he will be there. He won't care what he lose. Maybe tomorrow morning there's an exam, but even then he will try to go to a party. So he is mad of parties, right? Person like that. So we see the meaning. Party animal is an informal expression. An informal. This is very important. When somebody says informal, please don't write that in good English. When you are writing something very important, or when you write in newspapers, if you become a newspaper journalist, then you can write those words because newspaper is for the common masses, right? Normal people. Anybody can read, and even you are cracking dogs and you are hitting people, attacking politicians, and you use a lot of bad words also. So informal newspapers okay, but in formal situation, if you're writing a formal letter to somebody of in an office, don't use informal words. That is why they are called informal. You have to use formal words. We use informal words mostly for speaking in spoken language. But in spoken language, don't use high sounding words. Right? There are big words, high sounding words. We are not using high sounding words in spoken language. We try to use always spoken, informal words and slangs. Slangs means bad language. Right? Bad means not filthy, but some slangs are very dangerous because now there are slangs that you must think about your age. For an example, uh, maybe one boy, he is telling something to a girl passing by. Right? Some word, maybe little bad word, right? Not very bad, but it is very informal word. But if you take a man of 40 or 50 years old, 50 years old man, he says something like that for a little girl. You look at that man, what the hell this old man is using that words to that girl or a little children. Maybe some children, when you talk, young people, when they talk, they use some words. But old people can't use those words because everybody look at that man in a very strange way. But young people can do. And some words young people use, but old people don't use. And some words old people use with their friends, and young people never use those words. So informally, and some words males, boys can use, but girls never use. If a girl uses that word, people will look at that girl in a very strange way. Only boys can use. Some words only girls use, but not boys. They are called so not informal. Informal. When you come to informal and slang, you must be very careful. And if you understand the language, understanding language will not help. Understanding a language will not help enough. Right? Anybody can understand. Now you understand the language. So what is the difference between you and me? You understand the language. So why are you learning English from me? Our knowledge is the same. But understanding is not enough. Now, do we understand English language? No, it is much more. What? We feel English, Sinhala language. We don't say we understand Sinhala, we feel it. When you just try to open your mouth, I know what you're going to say. Because Sinhalese language is very, it's very familiar with us. It's like our hands and legs. We can move it without thinking. So understanding is not like that. When somebody says, we just get the idea. Feeling is very different. You never miss anything. If you just pronounce it in a different way, you make a different sound, you tone it, everything we feel. Right? And we get angry, we get sometimes happy when you feel the language. But English, it won't like that. When I say something, you don't you don't laugh at things. You might not laugh at the jokes, maybe in some films, they crack jokes and everybody's laughing, but you are just looking. And you understand, but you don't, it's not funny for you. It's not such a great thing for you to laugh. So language has to, you must feel the language. That is why you are learning like this. And by with these exercises, you will start feeling it. And that is the aim. Okay. So when you say party animal, it's an informal expression. Expression means saying, informal saying, used to characterize someone who spends a lot of time with friends or acquaintances. What is acquaintances? Acquaintance means not a friend, but you know that person, known people, right? You know your neighbors, you know the people live in your village, and you know the man in the shop, you know the man, the baker, but you are not a friend of that baker. But when you have a birthday, you are not inviting him. But you know him, you say good morning, hi, how are you? Only that. Right? They are called acquaintances. That means known people. And but you can have parties well, for entertainment either at home or in public places. Party animals are people like that. It's an informal word, right? Any one of you, is any one of you party animal here? I don't think. In Sri Lanka, we are not so mad of parties. We are mad of different things, not parties. Maybe we are cricket buffs, we are mad of cricket. In European countries, party has a very big meaning. Sri Lankan people, what do you call party? Party means some people gather and you listen to some songs and you play loud music and then you prepare some food and you eat them and then you just clap and go. That's the party for you. Maybe you drink alcohol, that's it. But in European countries, party is very different. It's more than that. I'm not going to explain that to you. So, because it's not our lesson. However, we are not so attracted to parties here in Sri Lanka. We just don't like. Most of the people in Sri Lanka don't like parties because our parties are very different, very boring parties we have. In Europe also parties may be boring for us, but they are trained for parties from the beginning of their life. Even little children start having parties in Europe. Okay. My friend Eric will take you downtown on Saturday night. He's a real party animal, so you'll meet lots of people. Okay. Somebody is going to read this, then I will explain it to you later because you have to be familiar with these words. Who? Samarasinga, please read this.
Okay, sir. My friend Eric will take you downtown on Saturday night. He is a real party animal, so you will meet lots of people.
Right. He's means he is, right? He's means he is. That's the short form. He is. Right? And what is downtown? Downtown is the center in a town where there are a lot of commercial things and people gather and there are pubs and a lot of attractive places in the town. It's called downtown. Because everybody coming to that place. Town is big, but in one corner or in the middle of the town, there's one area. A lot of people gather, a lot of fun is there, a lot of information is there, a lot of important things are there, maybe important buildings are there. That is called downtown. So my friend Eric will take you downtown on Saturday night. He's a real party animal, so you'll meet lots of people. That's it. So I think you understand what party animal. So then we are going to find another word. This is extraordinaire. That is pronounced like that, extraordinaire in English. But this is a French word. Extraordinaire is a word borrowed from French. Pronounced in English, extraordinaire. Extraordinaire. It is used to exaggerate. Exaggerate means what is exaggerate? Exaggerate is make bigger than normal. For an example, now it's say for corona, because of corona, 2 people died. and then you go and view the news, you say 20 people died. My goodness. So you give the news exaggerated. Exaggerated means you make it bigger than normal, bigger than real. Exaggerate is that. Make something, maybe a news, you exaggerate. And when you talk, you sometimes exaggerate. If you have, let's say you have a motorbike, you go and tell people, I have a car. You don't have a car, you don't have even a place to keep a car. You have a small motorbike. You just talk like that. You exaggerate things. Right? And sometimes you exaggerate numbers. If you earn for a month, if you earn 30 rupees, 30,000 rupees, you might tell one of your friends, I earn 60,000 rupees a month. So you exaggerate your salary. So exaggerating is that. You understand? And when you have to exaggerate, when you want to exaggerate, this doesn't exaggerate. I mean, when you want to do something like that, let's say we have a word here. Let's say X. X is a word, right? And before X, we use this word extraordinary. So we use it after that normally. Because French is that. French is adjectives, so you take the noun first and second adjectives come. That same order is taken there. You say a man is a tall man, you say like this. In English, we say tall man, right? Tall man. In French, what do you say? Man tall. That is how French order. Man tall. Normal order is that. Man tall. If you say expensive car, you say car expensive. That is the French order. Right? Adjective come there. All right. Now, if you use a word here, this is one word, right? And you use the here, so this word extraordinary. You use extraordinary there. Use the word there. Extraordinary there. Let's take a word here. X, right? And then after that, you want to have you want to X plus. After that, you take this word here. And what happens? The meaning of this word, the meaning of this word will be double because of this word, extraordinary. If you say special, it becomes special. If you say like, you say driver, driver is normal driver. If you say driver extraordinary, that means he is not a normal driver. He is very special quality driver, right? That means his qualities are higher than a normal driver. That means he's a very good driver. And if you say a bad person, robber, and you say robber extraordinary, he is an expert robber. Robber means he is the best robber, not really best. He can rob better than other robbers. That's the idea, right? And this is what you do. So use the word extraordinary after a word, another word, and then you make the meaning of that word double. Okay, pronounce like this and exaggerate the meaning. I don't say double, right? Just exaggerate. Okay. I'd like you to meet Mark. I'd like to meet Mark. He's a pastry chef extraordinaire. See? Pastry chef is okay, but pastry chef extraordinaire means he's a superb, not normal. Very, the quality of this chef means he's a very good chef. That's the idea. You have to try his cheesecake. Have to try means what is try? Sometimes you say you try that. Try means you eat and see. Eat and see his cheesecake. You eat and see his cheesecake. You have to eat. You must eat. Have to means must. So he is very extraordinary. So then you will understand how good taste chef he is. Right? Okay. Well, somebody read this. Oh,
I would like to meet Mark. He's a part chief extraordinary. You have to try his cheesecake. Cheesecake.
cheesecake. Okay. Very good. Can another person read this? Please.
I do like you to meet Mark. He's our pastry chef extraordinaire. You have to try his cheesecake.
Then this is the place that we got this. Matt says, I'm happy to meet you too. And yes, I have heard about you. Football player and party animal extraordinaire. I have heard about it. Okay. Now that means he says you are a party animal. What kind of party animal? Very big party animal, right? That is that idea. If you say party animal is normal, but party animal extraordinaire is very special party animal. You will not do anything if there's a party. That's the idea. Right? Okay, somebody can read this. Please read it.
I am happy to meet you too. And yes, I have heard about you. Football player and party animal extraordinaire.
Very good. You got the meaning there, right? What do you do? What do you do? What do you do? So this also is an expression. What do you do? Now, when you ask, you see that we have some normal meaning for that. But the question, what do you do? Asks what one's job or occupation is. When you want to know the person's job, you ask, what do you do? You can say, I'm a teacher, I'm a doctor, I'm a supervisor. So that is what they expect when they ask, what do you do? Right? When you answer with the verb to be, what is to be? To be means is same was verb. If you answer this question with to be, what do? You can use I am. Am means to be, right? I am a doctor. So when you answer with to be, you give a general job title. General job title is normal job title. Teacher, doctor, like that. I'm a doctor. I'm a teacher. Right? With to be. To be means is same. I'm a teacher. I'm a doctor. Note. Note means just pay attention. That the article a is always used when referring to only one person, but is never used when referring to more than one person. When there are a lot of people, you don't use a. You shall see that. We first learn this. When this question is asked, what do you do? If you want to answer that question with to be, you have to use I am. But you can ask the third person, what does your mother do? She is a housewife. What does your father do? He is a doctor. He is an engineer. What does your brother do? He is a tourist guide. What do you do? I'm a manager. Right? Okay, it is one person. So one person we always have a. But if you ask a plural question, what do you do? We are teachers. We are a teachers. You can't say we are teachers because a lot of people. What do your sisters do? They are nurses. What do you do? I am a nurse. Right? What like that? Okay, you understand it? It is very important that you remember it. Right. Now, Todd says football, yes. And as a matter of fact, I do like parties. But tell me more about yourself and what you do in San Diego. Right. Please read this first. Please read.
Football? Yes. And as a matter of fact, I do like parties. But tell me more about yourself and what do you do in San Diego?
Okay. Now we are going to understand it. But we have learned as a matter of fact. Who can explain this to me as a matter of fact? Who can tell me what is as a matter of fact? Last week we learned. Come on, somebody tell me. Wait, one thing I would like to tell you, as a matter of fact, you don't have much time to speak here, right? Like in basic course, you always talk and talk and talk. Because there I wanted to improve your confidence, not English. Here I am improving your, I am helping you to improve your English. So then you have to learn, and talking is done mostly. I get involved in your conversation because one person has to talk to me because I always will be one party asking question like that. And very rarely you will have to play roles two people. It depends on the kind of lessons that we are doing. But however, you have to talk like this. When I ask questions, please answer. That is the talking time. Don't wait for a time, special time for talking. Speaking. You get a chance, but I am not always trying to give a chance. I mean, when the lesson naturally give you chances, you can talk. Otherwise, you have to engage. You have to try, practice, do all these things. You have to talk with meaningfully. Okay, somebody explain this to me as a matter of fact. Please. Hmm? Who can do that? Samarkon? Samarkon never opened his mic. Right? I don't know whether he is there or not.
Yes,
Samarkon,
sir.
yes. Why don't you open your mic?
Right. That means we need to give answer or need to tell about the meaning.
Yes, as a matter of fact. What do you understand about as a matter of fact? Have you any idea? Last week we
But
just
I would like to tell you one thing because uh, earlier I didn't hear anyone. That's the case.
you were not there.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So okay, you did follow the lesson. Right. Okay. But somebody else did.
As you told,
Mhm.
as you told,
As you told, as a matter of fact, you asked, you asked how to answer that.
no, sir, I told you it meaning
Meaning, as you told,
as you told.
as you told, yes, yes. Okay, somebody else. What about? Okay, it doesn't matter. We'll leave it like that. I do like parties, but tell me more about yourself. What do you do in San Diego? This is what the uh, question here. What do you do in San Diego? This is what we want to ask. Okay, and what do you do? So, what does it mean by asking what do you do? He wants to know what is occupation, what he is doing there in San Diego. He's a doctor, he's a teacher, he's a student, or what? That's what he wants to know, right? What he do in San Diego. Right. Now, when the question is asked like this, what do you do? You can say, I'm a lawyer. What does he do? You can say, he's a painter. What does she do? You can say, she's a banker. What do they do? You can say, they are professors, right? So when you say they are professors, here you see, here there is an article, because he's one person. Here one person, here one person. But here many people, so no articles here, right? You see? So is not used because it's plural. Professors, they are professors. Right? All right. Now you can ask about your people, family people or friends like that. I shall do a little, I shall give a chance to Lasit. Lasit? Hello, Lasit. Lasit, okay. Lasit talk to Frank, right? And ask him, not Frank, it's Samaragone. You talk to Samaragone and ask him about his friends and his family member. You can just talk other things also, right? But I give you very limited time. You can, meanwhile, you can ask what you do and what does your wife do and children and all that. Just can ask. And Samaracon also have the same questions, and you can ask other questions also. Make the question. Just don't be just mechanic. I mean, I just very artificial. Make it little natural. Ask little different questions also. Make it a conversation. Okay. Samaracon, plus it start. Okay.
Hello.
Hi.
Right, tell me.
You ask questions.
What do you?
Hello.
Come on.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
How are you? Tell me something. What do you do?
I'm a student. So
Where
you live?
about?
Where do you live?
Yes. What does your sister do?
Actually, I don't have a sister.
That means you don't have brother also? Can you tell me about
No,
your brother?
I have two brothers.
Yes. What does he do?
My elder son is a university student, and my younger brother is still learning.
All right. Can you explain about your brothers? Can you explain more? That means your brother, what does he do? He's studying. That you said that he's in university, no?
Yes.
Which university?
He studied at Sri Jayawardhanapur University.
Other one. That means you said that you have two brothers.
Yes.
What does other do?
He is still in grade 6.
He's school goer, no?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, we just have same conversation. Monoranga, talk to Nitin.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. You are?
I am Monaranga.
Monaranga. Okay, I'm Mithuni. Then what do you do?
I am a teacher.
Good.
And what do you do?
I'm a housewife. Do you marry?
No, I'm single.
Okay. Then what does your father do?
My father retired now.
Retired.
He was a accountant, but now he's retired.
Okay, then how many siblings do you have? How many siblings do you have? How many siblings?
Brothers and
Siblings,
sisters.
brothers and
Please
sisters.
tell me.
Siblings. Yeah.
I have two sisters and one brother.
Oh, You have two sisters
I'm
and
the
one.
youngest of my family.
Actually, I have one sister and one brother. I'm the eldest one in my family. And my father is a driver, and my husband is an executive chef. And I think do you have sisters?
Yes,
Isn't it? So what does your sister
I
do?
have two.
What does your sisters
One
what
is
does your sisters do?
uh, one is a teacher. Mm, another one is a business lady.
The other one. The other one is a business person.
Other one, business.
Oh, okay. Then I think you don't have any brothers.
One brother.
Then you are are you government sector teacher?
Yes, I'm
What
a
are the subject
government.
of you teach?
I teach Sinhala and social science subject. I mean history,
history,
civic studies.
geography, citizen. Okay. Then
Yeah, like
what are
that,
the
like
grade do you teach for your school?
upper
Upper means
and grade
primary
and to grade 11.
grade 6 to 11.
Grade 9. Yeah.
Okay. Then
Do you have children?
yes, I have twin boys.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, give me the picture of these twin boys. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, I see. They are very beautiful.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. Right? I think when you ask questions, you see that you slip your tongue most of the time because you have not practiced enough. Then you will understand that you have not practiced. And you have to listen to the things that you say. I mean, you have to record your voice and listen to that voice. Then you will see what mistakes you make. And but you know this is a mistake. Yet you just make the mistake because you have not practiced enough. You have to practice, and when you practice, you will say, what do you do? What does your father do? What does your sister do? What do they do? I have two sisters. Then what do they do? Right? I have two sisters. What do they do? They are teachers. Or you can say one is a teacher, the other one is a businessman. If you say one is teacher, another one means not the sisters, another one, some different person. So therefore, you have to even though they are very small, you have to train them, right? You have to learn them. Okay. When the answer refers to someone who has a special title or a position, that is, this one is pronounced as that is, this is not English, right? This is Latin. I'm not going to tell you what Latin word is just based of time. But this is pronounced as that is. The meaning is that is, right? That is. Whenever you see this, you don't say IE or something, you say that is. When the answer refers to someone who has a special title or position, that is, again, is there. Is the only one in that point. This is you can't use here, right? This is more. You put this one. That is the only one in that position. Use the instead of the. You can't use. You can't use. Don't use. You have to use what? The. Why? Because there is only one job, one position. For an example, the president. In our country, there are no other presidents. So you have to say the president. In our country, there are no other prime minister. So you have to say the prime minister. Right? So they are lucky people because they are the only person holding that position. I mean, they can do lots of things for the country. Now, our president is so powerful and he has all the powers. He can do lots of things for the people in our country. So he must be a very lucky person. Because if you have the power to serve for other poor people, you must be a very lucky person. Right? So our president is really lucky and he has all the power to help poor people and build up a country, take the country to the best position. So it is doing or not doing is in his hand. It is how, I don't know how he thinks, his mentality and all these things, but he has the power and he has the chance to change the country. And after that, there won't be any poor people or any bad or any problematic things in the country. All the issues of the country can be solved by this person. So he's powerful enough to do that. So doing or not doing is a different story. So nobody gets such a chance. So you must think, well, if I get a chance like that, I will even sacrifice my life to do that. So anybody can do that when you have the power. Now everyone, like Prime Minister, he is the Prime Minister. And that's the biggest position. But if you go to school, the principal means the most of the powerful person there. When you say the principal, he can do a lot of things to the school. Doing or not doing is just depending on the person. So like, right? When the is used, you must understand only one person is there. And means lot of people are there. I am a teacher. That means there are so many other teachers. Right? I am not much powerful. Okay. What does he do? He is the president of ABC Enterprises. The president. You understand? The president. It's very, there's only one president there. That's what you have to understand. The president. What do you do? I am the school secretary. So the school secretary means there are no other secretaries. The only one. Only one. What do you understand? Only. Only means only comes with one. One plus only. One means only. There's only one person. He is my only son. Only son means one son. Right? Okay, you will understand. One. That's the idea. When you answer with another verb, you give more specific information about where you work. When you answer with other verbs, now other verbs means like not is, am, different verbs. You can say, okay? What do? You won't say I am. You say I work for a large firm. So if you start with I work, you have to say a lot of other words. I work for a large firm. What does he do? He drives a delivery truck. You understand? What does she do? She works in Atlas Bank. What do? They teach French at Loyola. You understand? So when you use other verbs than is, am, what happened? Is, am, is, am, are. When you use is, am, you say I am a teacher, I am an engineer. Or when one person is there, say he is the principal, he is the president, like that. But you use not is, am, are, different words like work, drive, teach, like that, different verbs, then you have to give more information with other phrases. Right? Answer with another verb, you give more specific information about where you work. Right? Okay, now you have to practice it. You ask the same question, what does he do? What do your mother do? All that. But you give answer in like this. She works for a large firm. He drives a delivery truck. She works at Atlas Bank. They teach French at Loyola, like that. Okay. Shall we practice that? Okay. Now we can have to Samarathinga, you talk to Frank.
What's sir? Frank, okay, sir. Okay. Hello.
Hello, Samsung.
Hello, Frank. What do you do now? Sorry, what do you do?
Actually, Samsung, I am a teacher.
Okay. Um, um, what does uh, what does your wife do?
She's housewife. What do you do?
Um, I work in KDU as a technical officer.
Okay. What about your parents do?
My father is retired, mother is housewife, but this time my mother and father is hospitalized. They are get sick from COVID positive.
Oh, okay. Oh, sad to hear that.
I am in quarantine these days in my house.
You are in trouble, no? What a trouble.
Yes, sir.
What you got there.
But
how they all these people have got vaccine, no? Something, no? You told me.
Yes, I have got vaccine.
What about your parents?
No, they are not yet, but I have get some symptoms in headache and dry my sore throat.
My God, vaccine is not working, it seems. Huh?
Yes, sir, but small people get sick, but some people get vaccine. But if some people get vaccine, but they are sick in my office and other places, but they are not too complicated situation. More in they have if they have got vaccine, they have not complicated situation. More people say.
No, even there are other people who have not got any vaccine, but they are also not having that what you call complicated.
Yes, sir. Oh, yes.
You can't say
yes,
it is
okay.
However, I don't know. Come on. Right. Thank you very much for talking. We shall give chance to another two people. What about last week? Last week you talked to Sanduri. Please talk to Sanduri. Sanduri. Last week, talk to Sanduri.
So I think Lasit left.
Last week is not there.
Yeah.
Okay. Then you talk to Janita.
Okay.
Hi, Sandhani. What
Hi.
do you do?
I study these days.
Okay, so what does your father do?
He do some works.
Okay, so what about your family? What about your family? Do you have siblings?
Yeah, I have one sister.
So what does she do?
She also study.
Okay.
So what do you do these days?
Yeah, I also do my studies these days.
So you have siblings?
No, I am the only child in my family.
Okay, with cousins. So
Yeah, I have cousins. In these days in my house, I have cousin, little sister, and little brother.
what do they do?
Actually, my little brother is studying. He does a scholarship in this year, and my little sister is still she's in still 2 years old.
Okay, so what your fathers do?
My father is a carpenter, but these days he also in house because this pandemic.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, you have to understand one thing. When you ask the question, what do you do? What do you do? You have to say normally your job, actually, job or your what kind of person you are, right? Permanently. But you have another question. You can't say I'm watching television now, right? What do you do? Oh, I'm watching television now, or I'm just cooking. You can't say that. What do you do means you have to say I'm a student. It's okay. Or else you have to say uh, work for a small garment factory, or you can say I follow I am following course is not okay. You have to say actually some occupation. That's the idea. Occupation, something like your job or occupation. But there's a different question. You can ask this: what are you doing? That is now. What are you doing? That is now question. You can say, what are you doing? Oh, I am watching television. I'm writing a letter. That is the answer for what are you doing? I'm cooking my lunch. What are you? I'm cleaning the garden. That is what I'm doing. Right? What do you do is very different. You have to get it down. That is why when you practice, you learn. Slowly you learn, right? You can say, I'm cooking, I'm writing a letter, all these things. But the other question, that's the other time when you ask what do you do, what does your brother do, you can't say he's cooking, he's riding his bicycle. I'm you can say I'm riding riding a later, it's okay. So what do you do? Okay. For the last chance, I give 1 or 2 minutes. Maybe 1 or 2 minutes. Prabodhi, you speak to wait, Prabodhi. Let me Sasini. Prabodhi, let me Sasini. Let me Sasini.
Hi, Nitmi.
Hi,
So, what do you do?
I'm still a student. I
Yes.
study.
Do you go to school this day?
No,
So, you have finished your exam?
yes, I just have finished my O-level exam.
Okay. So, what do your parents do?
Um, my father works. My father works at a company called Everyday Nissan as a clerk, and my mother is a housewife.
So, do you have any siblings?
Yes, I have a sister.
You
And
have
and she also studies
a
here.
sister? Okay. Is she younger than you?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. And I hope you like this. So, when a specific time or place is included in the question, the answer refers to how people spend their time, not just what their jobs are, right? This is very important. Learn this. When a specific time or place, right? You can ask, what are you doing in the garden? Like that. Then it is not the job. But as I said, right? Spend their time, not just what their jobs are, right? What do you do in weekends? That's different. Again, not ing. Like ing means now. What do you do on weekends? Then you can say, I relax and hang out with my friends. What is hang out? Hang out means, learn that informal word. Use that when you speak. Hang out means you just move, right? So can just be where friends are, move with them, go talk together, walk together, right? And ride your bicycles together, hang out. Okay? I relax and hang out with my friends. You can say. What does he do at the beach? You can say she surfs, relaxes on the beach, and goes to boardwalk for fun. That's a special place and special time. Maybe holidays, maybe like that. Right? Now look, Thorn says football, yes. And as a matter of fact, I do like parties, but tell me more about yourself and what you do in San Diego. That says, well, I'm more of a surfer than a football player. You know, San Diego has a fantastic coast, and we can surf all day and then party on the beach at night. Okay, thought then match. And two people have read this. We'll take Damita. You read this with Nandini Aditya.
Okay. I'm Todd. Football? Yes, and as a matter of fact, I do like parties. But tell me, tell me more about yourself and what do you do in San Diego?
Well, I'm more of a surfer than a football player. You know, San Diego has a fantastic coast, and we can surf all day and then party on the beach at night.
Right, we have learned this, right? But you're going to pay attention here. In fact, I do like, sorry, that's different. Yes, but more, what do you do? Yeah, what do you do? This is the question he asked. What do you do in San Diego, right? He mentioned the place, San Diego, and he asked, what do you do? Then he talked about San Diego. Again, I'm more of a surfer than football player. You know, San Diego has a fantastic coast, and we can surf all day and then party on the beach at night. So it is San Diego. He talks about that place, specific place and specific actions. Okay. It's not the job, it's more than job. So you must understand. So what you do is very meaningful, and you have to go through this and you have to get the best idea. Okay. Tell me about yourself. Tell me about yourself. Yeah, you learn that. It says, tell me about yourself. Tell me more about yourself. Tell me about yourself. Right? Tell me about yourself. Now we are going to discuss that. Tell me about yourself. Right? Tell me about yourself is a polite way. It's a polite way. Polite way means it's not rude. The polite way to let someone know that you are interested in learning more about him or her. If you want to know something more about another person, you can say, tell me about yourself. Now earlier I heard that somebody saying, explain to me about you or like that, but you can use this expression. It's very beautiful. Tell me about yourself. And then it is better than asking direct questions. If you ask direct question, hey, what is your name? Where are you from? What is your father doing? Maybe somebody's father is dead and gone. So that person doesn't like to talk about that. And you ask direct question. You stop him and ask, what is this? What is this? What is this? What is this? Who is that? Who is that? Who is that? Who is that? And the other person is becomes very uncomfortable. He can't answer, and some questions, somebody maybe there's a person you ask, tell me about your husband. Then the husband, she is divorced. The husband has gone away, and that when you ask that question, that lady feels really uncomfortable. So without asking direct questions, and asking direct question means, I mean, when your friends, you can ask any question, right? But if you ask in direct questions, then people get a little uncomfortable. The person being asked decide. But if you say, tell me something about yourself, then he can decide. Can decide what to tell and what not to tell. Right? When you ask that question, he can decide what to tell and what not to tell. If he doesn't like to talk about, if she doesn't like to talk about her husband, or if he doesn't like to talk about her father because father died or some problems with father, then she would not talk about it and she just avoid it and she might talk something she likes. So you make the person free. You can make the person free. Give the person freedom to talk whatever he wants by giving this question. Tell me something. Tell me about yourself. Right? It's a very nice question. Okay. Please learn that. Tell me about yourself. So you can start like, well, now when you answer this question, well, I'm 27. I have a degree in mathematics and I've been working at XYZ company for 3 years. My parents are both economics, and I have a sister who's a nurse and two younger brothers. They all live in Connecticut, where I was born. I'm crazy about football, and I have a season ticket. I listen to reggae, etc. You can say like that. But this person likes to talk, so he says all these things about himself. You understand? He likes to tell all these things. So no problem. But if you go to some place, if you ask the same question again, tell me about yourself. Then that person maybe he doesn't like to say. He say, well, I am from small town and I came here to work. Finish. He doesn't want to tell any other thing. So he has a choice. So that is why I said that question is very nice. Okay. Tell me about yourself. Now while that person is talking, you can ask some questions. It's okay. But let's go and ask somebody. Then you can select what to say and what not to say. Right. Let's talk to Samarapon. Tell me something about yourself. Only little things, right?
Yes, I am Samarakon. I work in Smart Set Lanka Limited as an engineer. I live in Kotugoda. I have 2 brothers and 3 sisters. My mother live in Kegol, but fathers already passed away. Then I have 2 daughters. My wife is my wife works in Minuangoda Vijayarandunga College. He's work as a teacher. My 2 daughter is still he's both are going at school. Eldest is already doing A level in math commerce subjects. Still younger daughter is still grade 8.
Okay, thank you very much. And somebody else who likes to talk about you, yourself, please talk. Anybody? Anyone? Anybody? Please take the chance and talk. Anyone who likes can talk. Nobody. Someone saying, would you like to talk?
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Well, I am 42 years old. I have a degree in natural science. I have been working at Sir John Kotalawala Defense University for 9 years. 9 years. My parents are both My parents' father is retired. He worked as health department. My mother is housewife. I have only one sister. She works in hospital. Mm, okay, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Now I think you will get the best use of this, right? So we are moving very slowly, and I have planned to teach you lots of things, lots of you see that very small things, but some people think that we have to learn grammar means all technical things, but what I think is first of all you have to improve your skills of uh, handling some situations with this type of language items. It is very important. Okay, because then you will have to talk, you will be able to speak without any problem. Okay. Yes, Davita, talk.
Actually, I am Damita. So I am 21 years old. I finished my O-level exam and A-level exam. I will go to the government university. My parents are teachers. My mother is a primary teacher, and my father teach combined maths. I have two brothers and no sisters. They my brothers study in schools. My elder brother study in Vayangora Central College, and my younger brother studies in Tolangama Central College. So I like to be an business woman.
Finish? Okay, thank you very much. Tell me about yourself. We learned that question, and it is a very powerful question because it helps anybody talk and they can select what they talk. The next word is awesome. Awesome. This is pronounced as awesome. Awesome. O is fear. Then when you say awesome, fearful, but it has very different meaning when you speak. Awesome. Right? Awesome has a very different meaning that we have to learn because it is very common word, and you know, awesome is an expression that is used a lot, very much, maybe too much. See, too much means there is no end of it. We use that so many occasions to say that you think something is really good. So we use this a bad word, terrible, but we use something very good. Also, we use some bad things. In single also you can remember that. If you say something bad words like මට මේ වෙලාවේ මහ යක්ෂ බඩගින්නක් තියෙනවා කිව්ව යකෙක් කන්න බඩගිනිනවා. So then devil and those things are not good things, but it shows that uh, good things. Now if you say පිස්සු හැදෙන තරම් ලස්සනයි කිව්ව, very beautiful. පිස්සු හැදෙනවා කියන එක හොඳ වචනයක් නෙමෙයි. Beautiful is a good word. So negative and positive words you put together and get meaning like that. So awesome කියන්නේ හරි බය හිතෙනවා කියන එකයි. බයෙන් පිටුණු කියන එකයි. But you use that word to give some different meaning. Awesome. Now you say you use that for really good. Other ways to express the same thing include great, fantastic, terrific, wonderful, and cool. They have the same meaning. Same meaning. When something is very good. But terrific also is a bad word. Terrific also is terror. You know, terrorist. Terrorist is not a person, good person. So terrific comes from there. Terror is bad. And wonderful you also is okay. Cool is I don't know what different word, but they all these words we use to give some. We just talk about something very good, excellent, right? Okay, and so how do you like it there? So you can say the awesome for that, right? So how do you like it here? Do you like this place? How do you like? Yeah, you can say it's awesome. It's awesome means this place is really fantastic, wonderful, nice, and all good things. Did you like the movie? It was awesome. Thank you for taking me. You're awesome. So awesome means used everywhere. Awesome means very good. That's the idea, right? Then what is non-stop schedule? American people pronounce it as schedule, right? Non-stop schedule. Non-stop schedule describes the activities of a busy person, whether it be because of work, school, family responsibilities, or even social life. Somebody is very busy because of any one of these reasons. And there we use non-stop schedule. How? I don't have time to see you this week with my non-stop schedule. My schedule non-stop is not finished, unfinished. We say non-stop music like that. Schedule means you have work after work, work after work, work after work. Maybe not office work, maybe in the house washing clothes, and after that doing some studies, and after that going shopping, and after that cooking, and after that chopping firewood, all things. You have no free time. Then you say non-stop schedule. Other ways to indicate non-stop activities are round the clock. Around the clock means 24/7. 24/7 means 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's 24/7. It's very special, right? You say 24/7. 24/7 means 24 means 24 hours. 7 means 7 days a week. That means you have no freedom. The same meaning can be said around the clock. I am busy around the clock. I have non-stop schedule. I work 24/7. Same meaning, right? Learn these things because they are very important. Right? You have to pay attention on these words. These words will help you to improve your English. I get telephone calls around the clock. I get telephone calls without end around the clock. He works 24/7. So I he works 24/7, so I hardly ever see him. Hardly ever means never. Hardly ever means very close to never. Not really never, very close. Maybe 80% never. Hardly ever means 80% never. Never. Right? Very close to never. When something is very close to never, you say what? Hardly ever. When it is 100%, you say never. But if it is 90%, there's little positivity, you can say hardly ever. Right? That also you have to learn. Matt says, well, I'll be here for 2 weeks. John has promised me a non-stop schedule, kind of a mixed sightseeing, meeting his friends, checking out the local scene, and hopefully camping in the mountains for a couple of days. Okay, please somebody read this. That is from our dialogue. Who's going to read it? Read.
Well, I'll be here for 2 weeks. John has promised me a non-stop schedule, kind of mix of sightseeing, meeting his friends, checking out the local scenes, and hopefully camping in the mountain for a couple of days.
Very good. Then we are learning here non-stop schedule. Non-stop schedule we learn. Kind of mix is another word that we have to learn. The local scene, hopefully, a couple of days. There are so many things to be learned. Okay. Now we know non-stop schedule. Okay. Now I would like to ask someone, Mr. Frank, do you have a non-stop schedule or are you sometimes free? Hmm?
When the school starts, I have a non-stop schedule.
Okay. That means you work around the clock,
Yes, 24/7.
24/7. 24/7. You work 24/7. You see, very powerful
Yes.
words, right? I work around the clock. Or I work 24/7. I have a non-stop schedule. I can't do anything with my non-stop schedule. Very powerful words. Okay, very good. Now we are going to learn a mix. Does somebody have any idea about a mix? Lasit, what do you understand about mix?
Combination,
What?
combination of something.
Combination. Yes, combination. Combination. A mix refers to combination of different elements, usually indicating variety. Right? Combination is now combined maths. When you put things together, it is a mix. Right? You eat mixed rice or mixed fried rice like that. Mix is combination together. Lot of things together, put together, and it is a mix. There's variety. Variety is there. It's important to learn variety. There will be a good mix of music at the wedding to keep the grandparents and the parents and the young people happy. So there are three generations. Grandparents are there, and the parents are there, and young people. If you want to keep them happy, you have to have a good mix of music. Mix of music, you see that? Mix of music, it is very important. Good mix of music. Right. What are the occasions that we have mix of things? Somebody tell me what occasions we have. Probably, do you have an example for mix of things? Hmm? Anybody?
Hindu and Tamil New Year.
Oh, well, yes, English and Tamil. Here we have mix of culture, right? Mix of culture. Now in Sri Lanka, Sri Lankan people have mix of problems. If you want corona, you have corona. If you have vaccine problem, you have vaccine problem. If you have petrol diesel problem, then you have diesel petrol problem. If you have if you have price hike, the prices gone sky high. So that problem you have. And if you have parliamentary jokes problems and stupid leaders, you have that problem. If the country is being sold out, that problem also is there. So we have mix of problems. So that is really okay. We invited a mix of people, family, friends, co-workers, and neighbors. The party, we invited a mix of people. Mix of people means not one group. Family, then friends and co-workers. Co-workers mean the people who work with you together, and neighbors. Right? So we have those people. It's a mix of things. And then the other one is hopefully. What is hopefully? Maybe we have to stop after this. Hopefully is very important. Hopefully. We are learning grammar here, right? Hopefully. Hopefully is a word inserted to indicate your wishes and something will happen. Right? Your wishes that something will happen. You think something will happen. Right? Something is going to happen. Maybe good thing. And then you want to put those things together. And it can come in the middle of a verb phrase. It's like this. Will comes and hopefully comes and verb comes. Before the subject at the end of a sentence. This is how it comes. Right? Let's see. You say, I'll hopefully graduate in 2 years. What is the meaning? Hopefully is a word inserted in the middle of your wishes that something will happen. You think it will surely happen. You wish that it will happen. Right? You indicate your wishes. You want it happen. If it stop, you don't like. Then you put now the sentence here is you take it out. Sentence here. I'll graduate in 2 years. එතකොට මට අවුරුදු දෙකකින් උපාධිය හම්බෙනවා. දැන් hopefully කියලා දාදනේ. අනේ එහෙම වෙනවා නම් ලොකු දෙයක් කියලා අදහසක් එක්කලා තමයි එහෙම දාන්නේ. I'll graduate in hopefully. එහෙම වෙනවා නම් idea again, your wish is there, right? So you put in that wish in the middle. Hopefully, I'll graduate. Always will comes and hopefully I'll graduate in 2 years. I'll graduate in 2 years, hopefully. එහෙම මට අවුරුදු දෙකකින් උපාධිය හම්බුනොත් හොඳයි. ඒ දෙක එහෙමයි. Right? Hopefully is very powerful here. You put your wish there. If we leave right away, hopefully we'll arrive on time. If you leave right away means right away, this very moment, right now, if you leave right now, hopefully we will arrive on time. Right? That's the idea. Okay, I think you have understood. Now, what Matt says, well, I'll be here 2 weeks. John has promised me a non-stop schedule, kind of a mix of sightseeing, meeting his friends, checking out the local scene, and hopefully camping in the mountains for a couple of days. Hopefully, that means if it happens, I'm very happy. I want it to happen. That's why I say hopefully, right? You say I will pass the exam. I will hopefully pass the exam. Right? That means I wish I have the pass the exam. You don't have that. I said that in English. That is the idea. Okay. I hope there's other things that you have learned couple of, but you can't wait more than this time. And I think I shall stop